your goals and expectations are for community relations. The second question is what your goals and expectations are for community interactions. The difference between the two is that relationships are how people are connected and the context in which they're connected. Interactions are what creates the relationships. So if you say, for example, that you want to have a friendly relationship with between the community and the police department, then you would be later describing what interactions would create a friendly relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And similarly, whatever relationship you want to create, then we talk about what interactions create those relationships. All right, so Diane.
Well, I think we need to focus on trust. And without trust, in my opinion, without trust, the relationship is not able to reach its potential, and certainly may not even be adequate. So when you're building a society without trust, then what happens is things start breaking down. And not just with APD, but there's other breakdowns that are going on in our government, not just in Albuquerque, but in New Mexico too. And fortunately, we have some laws in place which give citizens an unbelievable amount of latitude in trying to address things. So we have here in New Mexico a lot of ability to make change. But with APD in particular, I think trust is of utmost importance. And unfortunately, when my first experience, bad experience with police was watching the O.J. Simpson trial and seeing how Mark Furman was masterful at lying on the stand. And at that point then I said, you cannot trust cops, period, and they are trained to lie. So that one incident back in the early 1990s, I believe it was my first observation. And of course, as time goes on, and even the incident that just happened in South Carolina, that incident affects all police officers all throughout the United States. And the police need to realize that when they are deceptive, and when they think they can go beat up a homeless person and nobody's going to find out about it anyway, or they can lie about it after they crush somebody's testicles, those kinds of things damage not just APD, but they damage all police departments. It's unbelievably myopic for a police officer to think, well, I can get away with it because I'm a trusted public servant. And so lying works, especially in the courts. So I just want to say my focus is on trust. And the only way that can happen is by being trustworthy in your actions.
When I was visiting a cousin in Georgetown, north of Austin, a couple people approached me that had used to live in Albuquerque and relating to me how high the crime rate is here in Albuquerque. And that was one of the questions I was going to ask of the police, is how's the crime in this city compare with other cities our size. So on the one hand, I can understand a bit of a paranoia on the part of the police. Now on the other side of the street, I'm surprised that no one's mentioned what was on the news recently about them getting training, military-style training, siege-type training over at Kirtland Air Base. And it was suggested that this military siege raid-type training be stopped for the police, maybe just for the SWAT people, but not certainly for the ordinary beat cop. So. Plus, as it's been mentioned, and this is all over the country, is our, the police and so many departments are being supplied with military equipment, military, the guns. I mean, does a policeman really need an automatic weapon? Wouldn't a semi-automatic weapon be adequate? I mean, how much control do you have with a fully automatic weapon?